Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So we have some scrolls here from iScribe Steph. I will have her link down in the description box below, so definitely check her out if you haven't. And let's begin. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, in my head, as soon as I open up, I'm seeing grass, and it's like this very green grass, but I'm seeing the grass grow. So there's something that's growing. The color green seems significant also, so there's something that's growing within possibly the heart space. This might be some sort of growth that's happening after particularly a healing that's taken place inside the heart space. Okay. A deeper understanding of giving and receiving is something that's coming through because of this one. We'll get to that though. Interconnection. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this message is for a collective of people who are basically aware that they are called or have been called to participate in some practices that are a little bit more shamanic. I hesitate to say to shamans, right, to label it, because I don't feel that everyone within this collective has labeled themselves down to like one thing. So, but there's a lot of shamanic sort of practices taking place inside of the life of whoever this is for, whether that is simply doing journeying, going inside the underworld, clearing out the darker spaces of the self, working with the dead, or if it's doing upper world work and dealing with deities, or if it's practicing a lot of like earth-centered magic and getting into trance spaces. There's some mediating of spirit, in other words. There's something that's going on here where there's this anchor. It seems like we found something to ground ourselves in. And the interesting thing is that this grounding of things that are taking place, dolphins might be important for somebody, by the way. The reason why this is so important is because this grounding has actually caused the transformation. I'm seeing these two very old gods, and they almost look like Sumerian deities that are facing each other. So Sumeria may be important for somebody. It's almost like we're seeing another aspect of ourself, like our self is staring at ourself, and this is where the transformation is taking place. So a lot of self-reflection has happened here. I'm almost seeing this as the world tree now, as I'm talking about that. There's this whole area of the upper world that somebody may have not necessarily tapped into yet, and it does feel like a realm of, I don't know how to put this, I'm going to say ascended ancestors. I don't know how else to put that. Whereas usually we see like the ancestors in the underworld going through their trials, their tribulations, their lessons before the next life, before the earth kind of births them again. What we're seeing here is this is almost like ascended ancestors. So people who have come before you in your lineage or close to your lineage that have basically agreed to help. So this may be an area of guides. So whoever I'm speaking to, this may be either guides that you haven't met, or maybe you've never actually worked with your guides before. You've never actually encountered them. There's something coming in here, and it's very shimmery. It's in like the shimmery paint, the shimmery ink that she used. It's almost like this amorphous cloud that is somehow, and then this is transforming into eyes that has seen us, seen our, okay, so this is what I'm connecting to. Okay, it's seen our growth, it's seen our journey, it's seen our life. This feels like a master guide energy, and it's basically delivering a message through this. Okay. It's telling me to go on. One of the things I'm seeing here, I'm seeing this very colorful ritual. This ritual embodies all the elements. This is life. That's what it just said. This is life. Someone here is being guided to approach their life as though it is ritual. Funny, because the other channel, it got rebranded recently, and that's what I'm calling it, is ritual. And that's the point of it, is to understand that the ritual is always taking place within us. And that's kind of what's coming through here, except for in this one, it's more in the 3D. The things that we, embark in, this aspect of our life is more fire. This aspect of our life is more air. This aspect of our life is more water. This aspect of our life is more earth. Okay, I have a very specific message. I just heard Algonquin. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I just know it's spelled out. And it's very much a grandmotherly energy. Someone here has been asking if their grandmother's with them. And so if you are part of the Algonquin tribe and you've been asking that, the answer is yes. I'm seeing this old woman in front of me right now. So, okay. So with this sort of shamanism, one of the things that's happening here is to treat your life more like an elemental ritual. There's something about that opens up this gateway to be able to connect to spirit better. Not just the spirits like the way that we normally conceive them, but the spirits of the situation, the spirits of the thing, right? The deeper spirit in people is something that just came through. They want you to know that there's a little bit. Okay, so whoever I'm speaking to, there's a little bit of ourself that very occasionally we feel like, wow, is this really happening? Or am I really this? Or am I like tricking myself? This is the card that's coming up for whoever this message is for. If you see this, or the scroll, if you see this scroll, this is very shamanic. It's got a headdress. It's got like this thing. It's got like, these bird helpers. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. And, deer may be important, oak may be important for somebody, snakes may be important for somebody here. And so there is this energy here of really showing up in the world that way. And that in order to do that, we have to remember this. We have to remember that ritual is always taking place outside of us. It's not secluded to the time that we're like, now I'm going to do a ritual. Obviously, those are very holy spaces. But out in our 3D life, these things are still happening. They're still taking place. Our 3D reality is a symbolic reflection of aspects that are happening inside on a very deep level. To treat and show up to the normal situation with holiness and reverence, that's something that somebody's being guided to do here. And they're saying that is the energy of the shaman, that the shaman understands there is no break between spirituality and reality. That's what makes them a good mediator. So for someone here, that may be something that you're missing inside of your practice, just to take you that extra step. What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing now set apart spaces, set apart ritual. I'm not feeling that this is actually a ritual that is set apart, though. That's what's interesting about it. We have Taurus here and we have the Hierophant. This seems to be some part of a lesson that someone is learning here inside of their current path, is to basically how to view the mundane as sacred and holy because it is, right? We have this, okay, so he wants me to take this back apparently because he just showed me these and it is a he just showed me these. And they're like dinosaurs. It's like T-Rexes. They don't have arms, right? they're little T-Rexes. And I'm seeing this as like a circle of stones. The entrance to a circle of stones here. And I'm seeing this as like the gateway. And people enter and they come in here. And this is almost the threshold. As they pass the threshold, here they're in the ritual. And that these are the dinosaurs, meaning the rituals were done as part of nature, right? They were done in consecrated holy places, but they didn't have this idea that we have of being cut off by a building, right? So what it's essentially saying is that the world is your ritual. The earth itself is your ritual. It's your place of ritual. And so as you go about your day and you're interacting with people or you're having particular situations, showing up so that every situation for you deep inside is extremely holy is one way that you can tap into a deeper energy of that situation. So I'm going to give an example of this. So I used to do a lot of backpacking. Just after COVID, I haven't been able to go as much. Just life changes. I would like to start going more. But when I would go backpacking, there's something that would happen when I was out in the woods around the second or third day. And I noticed it didn't happen for the people around me. It happened for me. It's almost like the forest opens up and shares its story. It gives like greater insight into its story. Suddenly I would know what certain trees were without really knowing the tree. Suddenly I would see like animals kind of trying to interact with me. And I'd realize that something was going on and I'd see their bigger story. Or we'd walk into a section of forest where I'd realize, wow, this entire section of forest is getting attacked by this kind of insect, and all of a sudden I'd get this feeling of like the struggle that this section of forest, this little grouping of DNA, this genetic matrix was having against this particular assailant, right? And those stories didn't open up for other people because they weren't showing up to that forest as though it was holy, right? When we show up to particular situations, whether it's a job that we hate or if it's, going to the grocery store, and we're showing up to it as though I'm entering a temple, I'm entering entering a temple that has a different series of lessons, right? Hierophant now, and I'm being initiated into whatever these lessons have to show me. We really start to see things that we didn't see before. So someone here, you have a master guide that's trying to bring you into this. There's going to be things that you know that will align you with this, right? So if none of this makes sense to you and this isn't aligning for you, then it's just not your message. Please don't take it. But for the collective who I am reading for, your master guide has been working with you on this. Now, okay, he wants me to pull some cards. He's saying very specifically there's a small collective of people, you're struggling with your family, and this is one way to approach your family. That's easier said than done, because our family has a way of ticking us off in a way that nobody else can. It has to do with those primal roots, right? The old stories, the old messages, the old encoding that's buried in there. So, but this is something that he wants somebody to keep in mind as they're dealing with their family, that you are approaching a situation that is holy. Okay, and then we have the thief, seizing the moment, and selflessness. Oh, selfishness. There is he said opportunistic behavior. So that's kind of how we're meant to look at this, is that every situation is an opportunity. I'm gonna have a hard time speaking now because he's bringing me really deep under. There must be like a message that would normally make me uncomfortable, so bear with me if my words get all weird. There is a energy here that I can't remember what I was saying. I'm like so far gone now. Where was I? Who am I? Oh yeah, every situation like this in our outside world is an opportunity for us to learn something very valuable, and that's why he's presenting it as the thief. Be the thief of that situation, right? Use it as an opportunity to gain something knowledgeable and valuable from it. All right. Okay. He wants me to put this on the anchor because it's an anchor, so we have two anchors showing up. And he's changing the words on this. He wants it to be something different, but here he wants us to be herald, and then he's saying cut the deck, and then the last one will be here. Okay. With vengeance, overcoming slights, and a choice, he's saying that it's more about this choice. Here in the past with anchoring ourselves, we may have decided to release some sort of vengeance that we had, or some sort of bitterness that we had towards someone. But more than that, this is almost like releasing the need to always feel safe. That's how it feels. So for example, one collective that I'm feeling in this is a group of people that maybe walked away from a big religion, and you were kind of scared that what you were doing was wrong, because that's what you were always told. And at some point, somebody here very clearly said, well, if trying to find the truth is wrong, then what's the point of this other thing? And so if there is like a deity or a being who doesn't want me to see the truth, or doesn't want me to seek the truth in the way that I'm being led to seek it, then that's not for me. There's some sort of conversation like that took place here for someone. Obviously, that's not for everybody, right? But there is, that storyline is coming through. All this is to say is that there's something like that for this collective, where there was some sort of decision, some sort of choice that we had to make, where we had to throw down our roots and just settle ourselves into something like, okay, this is what I'm doing now, right? Something like that. Here, what we have with this shaman being presented as the person I'm reading for, this is what you are. You are the herald, right? So you are basically bringing a new energy into this sort of collective world, and you're probably aware of that. You're probably aware of that. Whatever you're doing in this shamanic context and within your own spiritual context is very different from what other people are doing. It's your own unique signature, and there is an area of affluence that you have or influence that you have that has been given to you, because that's what happens for shaman. They are given tribes, right? They're given people. So there are people around you. We just have to start showing up this way, as though we realize that that's what's been given to us, that this is holy and that this is sacred. And they may not like what we're doing, they may not agree with what we're doing, but you are the energy worker in that collective. Here, what we go over here, we have the diviner, we have divine timing evaluation, and this is coming in with this card that's representing the ritual. Again, plugging into this sacredness in order to have this ritual, and in order to know, to have access to the information, to understand divine timing, to understand everything in its appropriate order. Very, very Hathor, like Ma'at kind of energy coming off of this one for me. Hathor more so just because of the circularness of this is almost like the universe itself, right? So this is like communing with the universe by communing with with the mundane, because the mundane is housed inside literally the universe. So this is very interesting. Someone here, it's almost like a master guide is trying to give a different perspective on how to tap into the energy on a deeper level. Okay, where am I going here? Where am I going? Okay. He's saying 3 more. Bottom. Oh, okay, wow. All right, so this is something he wants someone to know. There's still some emotional healing that has to take place. This may not necessarily be emotions that we have immediate access to. It's being represented. What was that? I don't even know what that was. This is being represented by Tobira of the Waters, and Tobira of the Waters is basically a fairy who has her hands out, and there's water pouring out of her hands. I'm not showing the cards because I can't show this one. And this represents emotional healing. Now, for me, in this context, with the anchors, the 2 anchors, and this water, this is still that underworld energy. It's that deep subconscious, right? It's the stuff that we didn't know that we had until we were faced with it. And this may be coming out for someone right now. For others of you, this is still something that needs to be processed. There's something here that is blocking our ability to open our eyes fully and say, oh, wow, and like kind of move on from the past, or move on from whatever this situation is that we needed to anchor ourselves from. And what's happening here in the present is that this is happening in kind of the background a little bit for somebody right now. And this is bringing us into Nels the Alchemist, which she is the alchemist. She's representing extreme change. There's something that happens once we step into the energy of allowing our 3D reality to be our ritual, that now brings us into this more of a shaman vibe, right? And this is what transforms it. This is what brings that change. Now, there's hesitancy, however, that's going to be put aside, and or needs to be put aside. And the reason why I'm saying hesitancy is because we have Fluff the Footer. I can show this card. And this is inside our heart space. Our heart space is still, just as I opened up this reading, our heart space is still growing. It's still healing in some way. There's a significant healing that has happened, and now the energy is just growing inside of itself. But in order to heal, it has to have that space and that divine time to allow itself to fully regain its energy, right? And that's what seems to be happening here. So there may be some hesitancy to view certain circumstances this way, especially familial, I'm hearing. And this requires courage. This is something that's going to require courage. It's different from what we've known, in other words. So whoever this message is for, this is it. So I'm going to leave this. And if this did resonate for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.